Dr. Cosmos, welcome to this interview with South Sudan Mining Journal. We thank you once again for giving us this opportunity as you have always done. A pleasure to have you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, first of all, I would want you to take us through a very critical topic, which has been, within the public sphere for quite some time now. This is the South Sudan Mining Forum, which was supposed to happen alongside the South Sudan Oil and Power Conference. We understand that the Oil and Power Conference has been postponed indefinitely. What does that mean for this inaugural mining forum?
Thank you very much. The South Sudan Mining Forum was supposed to be on the same event of the Oil and Power Conference. And this is because we said both the oil and the mining sectors are just the same thing. Almost, they are the extractive industries. And we took this from the event that is always taking place in South Africa, which is Energy Week. And then in conjunction with that, the Critical Mineral Forum goes together. And so that was the idea. Everything was done and the preparation went well. We invited people and all our things that are to do with it was ready. And the event was supposed to be organized by the same people organizing the event in South Africa, which is the Energy Week and the critical minerals. So the idea came from there, and everything was done well. Unfortunately, currently we are going through some difficulties, especially financial difficulties. So it was going to be a burden on us, especially hosting the ministers, because we were expecting not less than 11 ministers that would be coming to attend. And in addition to some other investors, mining companies, and we have been visited by the ambassador of Czech Republic, who is resident in Addis Ababa. He visited us and also expressed willingness to bring some companies, Czech companies. So it was going to be a very big forum, and then given the current situation of the country, uh, especially the oil and power. So the Minister of Petroleum announced that the postponement of this conference, which is the oil and power, and we were supposed to just be part of that. And as such, we cannot conduct our own South Sudan Mineral Forum. That is why we also the event got postponed together with the oil and power conference.
Okay, does the ministry have or know of any reason which could have possibly led to the postponement of the South Sudan Oil and Power Conference?
Uh, the reason is just the same because we were going to host the two events together, the same hotel, and so the Minister of Petroleum was going to bear the greater burden of that of the organization and the financial part of the organization. And since they are not able to do that, then we we could not continue with ours.
Okay. Recently, South Sudan participated at the fourth ordinary session of the African Union Specialized Technical Committee on Trade, Tourism, Industry, and Minerals. There was supposed to be elections for representatives for different regions. What was the position of South Sudan at this session, at this summit?
Yes, the, it was divided into regions. The central, the president was supposed to be from the central region, and has been given to Equatorial Guinea. And the first vice was supposed to be from East Africa region, which is our region, and so Tanzania expressed willingness to take that position, and we did as well. We also announced that we wanted to the same position. So there was a competition between us, and it was supposed to be the dean of the region, of the East Africa region, which is Mauritius, is supposed to be the one to be like the 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 vote of Mauritius was supposed to give the advantage to one of us, and then unfortunately Mauritius was not there, so the issue has been referred to the African Union in Addis Ababa. It will be decided by it will be decided by the ambassadors, our ambassadors who are representing us in the African Union. So up to now we have not had anything from them, but they will sit and then they will decide which country should take that position. The same thing with North Africa. North Africa also, they had the same issue like ours, that there was no clear decision for one of the countries, either Morocco or Algeria, and it has also been referred to the panel of the ambassadors in the African Union. So we are waiting.
Okay. Why is South Sudan interested in this position? What what does it mean for the country?
Uh, to be represented in that position, that means you are so close to the decisions that are being taken there. So all this time, South Sudan has never been represented in any of the positions that are there. We have been only members, and so the decisions were taken in favor of for mostly those who are there. For example, there was funds from Korea for mapping, for geological mapping. And the decision was taken that this were given to Tanzania and Zambia, which are two adjacent countries there. And we, South Sudan, are in desperate need of mapping of our resources, mineral resources. So at least we would have got something from there. You cannot. Already we know that Zambia has gone far in mineral development. And so if there's anything like that, you give to a country that is still behind, lagging behind. And like in our case, we are still an infant in the mineral sector. So being away from decision making is affecting us very much. That is why we said this time we want to be there, such that if there is any decision to be taken, we will be part of that decision.
You were also in Malabo. Uh, what was the event about, and why was it relevant to the Ministry of Mining?
The event in Malabo was a forum. That was the first forum. Also, the Malawi was organizing its first mineral forum, and they invited us, and especially our minister was given the honor to be a guest of honor, the speaker. He was supposed to be the speaker, the guest of honor, to speak on behalf of the African Strategic Mineral Group that was formed in Saudi Arabia. And that is why we went, and the minister was there, and he was able to deliver the message that was he had wanted to be taken by all the African countries, which is the infrastructure. We should develop our infrastructure such that once investors are willing to work on minerals, then they will find at least some infrastructure like roads that can lead to those remote areas. We know that minerals are always in remote areas, and then if we don't work on our infrastructure like roads, railways, and all that, then it will be difficult to invest or to extract those minerals, especially if you talk of iron or you talk of cement. These are heavy materials that needs to be carried by, at least you should have a railway in order to work on that. And power also is another thing that we need, because without power, the extraction of all those minerals makes it difficult.
Just to take you back a little bit on the South Sudan Mining Forum, you mentioned some of the challenges which the ministry is currently facing. So does that mean there is no likelihood that the forum is going to be hosted this year?
Uh, as we know that the financial year has ended and we are now starting a new financial year, this will be, we've already scheduled it into our new budget. And we hopefully, once we get the budget for that, we will be able to organize it. The difficulty is there are so many events taking place in Africa as far as the mineral sector is concerned. For example, in August, there's a forum in mineral forum in Tanzania, and then there's followed by even this month there is a conference in Nigeria, which will be on the 16th up to the 18th. The Honorable Minister already got an invitation for that. So we find that different countries have already booked different months. So you cannot come and squeeze yours. We have already missed ours. Ours was known to be in June, sorry. Ours is known to be in June. So it will be very difficult for us in order to squeeze it somewhere. We agreed with the organizers of the event that, because as I mentioned earlier, that these are the same people that are organizing the Energy Week in South Africa, together with the Critical Minerals Forum. So they invited us. They said, okay, since you people are not able to organize your forum, we will give you a showcase here in the critical minerals in Cape Town, so that you come and exhibit whatever you had wanted to exhibit in South Sudan, and then we will also give you time to come and talk about the industry, the mining industry in South Sudan. And we have agreed on that. That will be in November.
So now we also understand that South Sudan is poised to host the Great Lakes region, mining minerals forum. I don't know, like, because it seems they're all happening within the same month, that is November. So how is the ministry going to to strike a balance between the two events, the Critical Minerals Africa in Cape Town and also the other forum at home?
Yeah, we are giving the priority to the forum at home because we accepted to host it, and as such, there will be a good number of ministers that will be attending, and as such, the priority will be given to that. And unfortunately, it seems both are falling on the same day. And so if that means our representation in the critical minerals will be less than expected, because in the past we had wanted to put all the weight that was supposed to be for the mineral forum in South Sudan Mineral Forum in Juba. We had wanted to take that weight and put it in Cape Town, the critical minerals. But now, given the fact that we are the one hosting the Greater Lakes conference for the value addition, then all our presence will be here. And so the showcase will not be to that extent that we would have just put all the weight on that. Because, for example, our minister will be here because he's the host. He has to be here in Juba to receive all the dignitaries that are coming to attend this Greater Lakes Forum.
Okay, so we are talking about two events happening simultaneously, almost the same date and everything, or the Great Lakes Regional Conference is fixed on another date?
We are trying to shift it a little such that they will not be coinciding on the same dates. There's a possibility that will happen with the Greater Lakes region because we are the one hosting, so it is up to us. We can a little bit push it ahead, or we do it before that time. So we are still in conversation with the Greater Lakes administration, and there will be a solution for that.
Okay, let's talk about India. I believe there are some Indian companies which are also doing some mining related undertakings in South Sudan. Recently, the ambassador was here. You met the ambassador, and they were saying there were some challenges that Indian mining companies are facing within the sector here in South Sudan. What are some of those challenges? And have you discussed some ways forward to address them?
Thank you for this question. In fact, there are no Indian companies investing here, but they're joint venture. The companies are South Sudanese companies, and some Indian investors who are joining them. So they have some agreement among themselves that some shares. That is why the company is purely a national company. But the shareholders are not all nationals. The Indian ambassador came, yes, two folds. One is about the donation that they did to us on the observatory, the seismological observatory, that they're donating it to us. And there's an idea that this observatory to be named after their scientist, one of the geologists in India, such that this observatory to be named after him. He's still alive and still contributing a lot, effective in the geoscience. So, in order to honor him, and he's among the Geological Society of India, who came with the idea that this let them support us. So this is one of the issues that he came, His Excellency, the ambassador came for. The second is the issue of these shareholders with the one of the companies operating in Capoeira. And that issue, he wanted us to mediate, and this is what we did. We're still bringing the two sides and to see what is happening between them. And up to now, we are able to meet one side, and we will meet the other side, and then we'll see what is happening among themselves. And given the fact that also the company has been suspended to some reasons of no compliance, because they were issued an exploration license, but they went and started working on small scale mining. So they have been suspended, and they have applied now for the license, for the small scale license, and that is the right way now. So they are now on the right channel, and they will go back and do their work, hopefully soon.
Could you elaborate more on? You said a laboratory which is supposed to be named after this Indian theologist.
Yes, it is. They are donating to us an equipment that can record earthquake.
Okay.
So we have thankfully the people of West Rajaf, the Korea community, have already given us a piece of land where this observatory should be operating. That is, the instrument will be installed in that place. And so, among the arrangements that His Excellency the Ambassador wanted, and it is an idea that came from India, from the Indian Geological Society, that since they are the one donating the instrument to us, and so they were just begging us if we can allow the station to be named after their scientist. And this is happening, of course, in most part of the world. That you can name something. A lot of places that have been named after Newton as a scientist, and although he's not a national of that country, but you will go to several countries, you'll find that something named after most of these scientists. The process here is our minister will table it to the Council of Ministers, and then when they pass it there, then it can be named after the scientist, the Indian scientist.
One last thing that I would want to ask, because the financial year is coming to an end, and what can the Ministry of Mining report as maybe achievements or challenges, as we transition to a new financial year?
All right. We in our plan and the budget that we submitted to the Minister of Finance, and it was passed by the Assembly. One is mapping. That was the priority. The priority was the geological mapping that we already signed an agreement with the Chinese company. And then they came, they're doing the mobilization. What is supposed to be done is the first installment of the payment is supposed to be done to them. And thankfully that our Honorable Minister yesterday was with the Minister of Finance, and I think that arrangement has been done. It was a resolution that was passed by the Council of Ministers that $65 million are supposed to be paid to the company to do all that work that it will be doing the systematic and integrated mapping of South Sudan. It will start from Western Barghazal, Western Equatoria, Central Equatoria, Eastern Equatoria, Buma, Maban, and then some part of Upper Nile that are bordering Nuba Mountains. So the whole program will take 7 years. And so the money was allocated for it, and soon they will start. They already came, did the mobilization, went to Western Bargazal. Thankfully, a piece of land has been allocated to them in Raja, where they will bring their aircrafts and all that, and they will start working from there. And also, is one good thing is that the airstrip in Raja is working well, and the civil aviation has already a tower there. So I think everything is in place now. The other thing is the map, the lab. Uh, the laboratory, the geological laboratory, and then the office building. We are renting. We don't have an office building. So this was all budgeted for, and the contract is already being allocated to a South African company uh, who came here. They did the design and everything is ready. They were interrupted by the elections in South Africa recently, and so they were supposed to come after the formation of the government. 2 days ago, they contacted us and to assure us that they are on the way, they are coming after the government has been formed. And then, luckily enough, also the Minister of Energy and Mining has been brought back, Mantashi. He's back, and so there will be no more changes in the plan. So everything will just, since it is the same minister, uh, everything will go as we planned for before. We are mentioning this because, in addition to building, to construction of this lab and the office building, there is the South African Council of Geoscience will come and help us in identifying or mapping areas of critical minerals in South Sudan. So that work will be done by the Council of Geoscience of South Africa. And that is why we were waiting, according to them, that any work that would be done outside the South Africa needs a permission from the Honorable Minister. So by then, there was no minister. That is why they were waiting for the formation of the government. And now the government has been formed. The same minister has been brought back, who initiated the idea. So that means the idea will go ahead. And we expect them to be here soon, this month, July.
Okay, so for the geological mapping, we understand that an agreement was signed with Getty. That was last year, December. The ministry is proposing like 65 million, like you stated. Now, also for the South African Council of
Geoscience.
Geoscience, for them to undertake this mapping, will that not going to require another budget?
Thankfully, that the work that we are doing with the South Africans was part of the agreement that we signed with South Africa before, the cooperation agreement. So we have a cooperation agreement that the South Africans are supposed to come and build our capabilities, the technical capabilities, and then help also in doing the mapping work. So it is something that is already agreed upon, and it's not costing us additional budget.
And on the construction of the office, someone may ask, why does the government need to contract a South African company? Why do we have South Sudanese companies that can do the construction?
Unfortunately, this thing was advertised and then internationally, and then so the South African company that took it.
They met the standards.
Yeah, the standard. They met the standards, and that is why it has been given to them. This is one. Secondly, they are the one doing the funding first, and then it's just like a loan. They are the one lending us that money, and it's not given to us as money, but it's given to us as in terms of construction. So that is why we gave it to them.
Yeah, so the South African Council of Geoscience is supposed to undertake this, the mapping of critical minerals. Are they supposed to start anytime this year?
Yes, we had several meetings with them. They're supposed to start mobilization. That means they're supposed to come and then see what type of machines that are needed, and the area itself, the preparing of the satellite images and the desktop work that should be done before going to the field. That will be done within this month. So both the construction and then the mapping crew will arrive here. They were supposed to come here on the 6th of last month, but because of the elections in South Africa and the formation of the government, they postponed it to this month. So we are expecting them before the end of this month. And also because we want to prepare our own stakeholders. They wanted to come and meet with for example, the people of Juba City or the county, Juba County. You see, Rajaf is part of that. So they wanted also to meet with these people. They want to meet with the people of housing. They want to meet with people of roads, because that area is a remote area. So the possibility of constructing roads to that. They wanted to meet with people of water, electricity, all these the stakeholders. So we have already written to these institutions, and they want to make sure that all these institutions have already nominated the focal persons to come and attend a workshop that will be uh, organized by us, but they will be the one to come and conduct that workshop, such that each stakeholder should know what is their role in that. For example, the roads will always come. They will come. They will come with their own plan for the roads in that area, or if there is a map already for that area, then they need to know how can that area. Is there a grid that can be connected to the area? Because we are building an office building which is not less than 4 stories, and then at the same time there is a residence for the staff in the same area. So that is why we need. Of course, there will be a lot of people living there, and then the commuting to the area will be frequent, and so as such that then sewage even. Since this is high-rising buildings, we want to know also how the sewage system will be there. So these are some of the things that all the stakeholders, we want to prepare them and then give them the green light to come and conduct that workshop.
Okay, Dr. Cosmas, is there anything else that you want the public to know from the Ministry of Mining?
Yes, we are happy that the amended Mining Act of 2012 is now has been scheduled, and soon it will reach to the assembly. And when it is passed, there are a lot of amendments that we think when they are effective, when they're enacted later on, it will promote the industry, and the diversification of the economy will be significant. For example, just a simple example is that the building materials. In the past, the building materials, all these belong to the states. Now, all the building materials, allocation of all the licenses and the building materials will be under the national ministry. Queries, all the queries and mines will be under the national ministry. And in this case, then we can monitor. And you might have seen foreigners coming here and then they're breaking our mountains without even consulting the Ministry of Mining. Why? Because it belongs to the state. So whether the state is caring about it or not, we cannot interfere. But now we cannot allow any company to start breaking or making queries on our land without even knowing what is there. For example, one of the mountains being broken now, it contains rare earth elements. So this is rare earth elements, and we are now breaking the mountain and using it for purposes that are not useful to us. This is one. Number two, we will be in control of all the activities in the country, and as such, the critical minerals. We are now members of the African Strategic Mineral Group, which was formed in Saudi Arabia, and we are the pioneers. And soon we will benefit from the fund that has been allocated by the Saudi Arabian government in order to work on our critical minerals. So we are so optimistic that we are part of that African strategic mineral group. And at the same time, being part of this East African community, we are optimistic that also we will take that seat, the seat that we contested for. We are optimistic to take it, such that any decision will be taken, we will be part of that decision. At the same time, the ministry has a lot of connections now. That is why our minister is always being invited as a keynote speaker in most of these fora that are taking place, starting from the one that he attended in Malawi, Equatorial Guinea. Now he's going to Abuja, and the Australian Down and Under is also there, and a lot of that. People are now noticing what is happening in South Sudan. If you see what came recently, the progress in the mining sector in the world, and if you take Africa, we are now ahead of South Africa in the progress, not in the production. In the progress, we are ahead of South Africa, we are ahead of Ghana, we are ahead of Uganda. So South Sudan has not been classified before, but we have been classified, and the progress is really huge since 2022 up to now. We are happy about that, and we will exert our effort to take a better position than what we have taken this year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cosmas, for your time. I beg to end here. We appreciate the Ministry of Mining for always cooperating with us in giving the vital information that the public always need. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks.